So all of my homies have been telling me I gotta react to this video. And the video I'm talking about is called The Rise and Fall. The Rise, Fall, and the Rise Again of Vinicius Jr. And you know what I'm saying? Listen, I like football. I like football. So why not? Let's react, man. Little Vinicius Jr. video. I want to give a big shout out to the homie who made it. All right, came out 3 weeks ago. Big shout out to the homie right there. And yeah, man, we got to check this bad boy out. We got to see what's going on here, man. The Rise, Fall, and the Rise Again of Vinicius Jr., man. I'll leave a link in the description so you guys can check it out as well. Let's run it.
Vinicius Jr. is definitely the best winger in the world right now. His journey.
I got to stop that. You're right. I believe he's the best winger in the world right now. The problem is Mbappe considered a winger? Because I don't consider Mbappe a pure winger. I consider Vinicius Jr. a pure winger. So I agree with what he said. I think Vinicius Jr. is the best pure winger in the world. Now, if you're considering Mbappe a winger, then we have to have a conversation because I'm not sure. They're both amazing.
Journey to this point has been inspiring too, with him coming from humble beginnings in Brazil to then him signing for the biggest club in the world, Real Madrid. However, even though Vinicius...
Barca fans are already tilted. They're mad. Listen, Barca fans, it might be the biggest. Just because they won a lot of Champions League. But listen, don't be getting tilted. It's just a video. Come on, we run it.
Vinicius is killing it right now. His time at Real Madrid hasn't been so smooth. In his earlier years, he missed a ton of easy chances and also had the legendary Karim Benzema telling his teammates to not pass the ball to Vinicius due to him playing against us during a game. So how did...
That's actually 100. I was watching that game. That was nuts that actually happened. But it did. It happened. 100%. It's wild.
Vinicius Jr. go from being an exciting Brazilian prospect to a player his Real Madrid teammates didn't want to play with to then becoming the best winger in the world right now. Well, let's take a look at the rise, fall, and rise again of Vinicius Jr.'s career. Vinicius was born and raised in the poor section of São Gonçalo, an area in Rio de Janeiro.
Look at how beautiful that country is, by the way. You know what's crazy? Vinicius Jr. with no hair reminds me of Ramirez. Is anybody else, or is it just me? You know Ramirez, the Brazilian midfielder that used to play for Chelsea, Benfica guy with Chelsea. Anyways.
His family basically had nothing, with his father and grandfather not even having a job. However, his family quickly realized that Vinicius had a God-gifted talent in football, and he joined one of the biggest clubs in Brazil, Flamengo, at just 10 years old. Even when he was a kid, he stood out with his joyful playing style. Vinicius Jr.'s talent then helped him ascend quickly through the youth ranks in the Flamengo Academy, and then in 2017, during the prestigious Brazilian youth tournament called Copa Sao Paulo, everything changed. The Copa Sao Paulo tournament, Brazilian talent played in this competition before, like Casemiro, Lucas Moura, Gabriel Jesus, and of course Neymar Jr. Here's the thing though, Vinicius played at this tournament at just 16 years old, meaning he and lit up the tournament with ordinary skills. These performances from Vinicius then led him to be called up to the Brazilian national team for the South American Under-17 Football Championship.
It's so wild when you really sit down and think about it, lads. Like, think about what he just said. Could you imagine playing with like other crazy players at 16 years old? Like, are you listening to what he's saying? 16 years old? Yo, like Barcelona put a kid playing the other day. I think he was 15. Like, imagine walking on the field. You're 15 years old. You're like looking at like, okay, yeah, Pedri's a baby too, but like you're playing with like Ter Stegen and like names like that, right? Sergio Busquets and Xavi's yelling at you. Like, that's crazy. I don't know. That, to me,
and Vinicius continued to dominate his opponents, with him being the tournament's top goal scorer and also was named the best player in the competition. Vinicius was making a huge name for himself in the football scene in Brazil, and European teams started to take notice. Vinicius was then left with the choice between the two biggest clubs in the world, Real Madrid and FC Barcelona. However, it didn't take long for Real Madrid to convince Vinicius to join them instead, and that's when Real Madrid agreed a €45 million deal with Flamengo before Vinicius even made his professional senior debut for the Brazilian club. However,
45 million they got this guy for. Darwin Nunez went for almost 100. That is just nuts. But again, he hadn't played for the senior team yet. It's crazy he had a chance to go to Barcelona, but he picked Madrid. You know what's crazy is I 100% like I enjoy watching Madrid, but I do want to say Vinny kind of does remind me of a Barcelona-ish player, like Dingo and stuff like that. Obviously, I'm super happy he's at Madrid, but he does remind me of like a Barca type player. Anyways, let's
due to the fact that Vinicius was younger than 18 and had no way of getting a European passport, he had to stay with Flamengo until he was old enough in July 2018. Until then, he played for the Flamengo senior team and continued to show why Real Madrid splashed the cash on a young Brazilian star like him. In his first senior season with Flamengo, he only managed to get 4 goals and 1 assist in 32 games. Remember, Vinicius is still very young and arguably playing for the best club in Brazil, so he isn't going to kill it right away. In the following 17-18 season, season for Vinicius, his stats improved with him getting 6 goals and 3 assists in 17 games. He also scored a couple of goals in Copa Libertadores, which is basically the Champions League in South America. So it's a super prestigious and historic tournament. Then July 2018 came and Vinicius completed the move to Real Madrid at the young age of 18 years old. He was supposed to be integrated into the Real Madrid squad pretty slowly, considering he was so young and raw. However, with Cristiano Ronaldo leaving for Juventus, Real Madrid were deprived of a left winger. Hence why Vinicius Jr. was
That's crazy. If Ronaldo just would have re-signed, he would have played with Vinny, bro. Nah, Cristiano, dude, you had to put your ego aside and sign, bro. We could have watched you play with Benzema and Vinicius Jr. and Luka Modric, bro. Nah.
Then thrown into main team action and played a lot more than initially expected. And for his first season playing in a European league, he did pretty well. During this terrible season for Real Madrid, Vinicius was often seen as the bright spark of the team. And this was due to his amazing trickery and his insane dribbling skills. Even when Real Madrid were losing games, Vinicius was always seen as a player that could bring something to life during the match. He was so threatening down that left-hand side that a lot of coaches had to adjust their tactics just to find a way to contain Vinicius. He kind of had that Neymar aura about him when Ney was still at Barcelona. Although Vinicius was showcasing his amazing dribbling ability, his greatest flaw was revealed too, and that was the fact that Vinicius couldn't score goals if his life depended on it. His composure in front of goal was terrible, and he often missed chances that he could have buried. And although he had 7 goals and 13 assists in 36 games in total, he only had 1 singular goal in La Liga.
To be fair, though, that's not horrendous for a young player. I mean, it's bad, but it's not like horrendous. His stats at Flamengo were kind of bad. Don't do him like this, bro. You about to make him miss this?
Before he got the chance to score more, his season was finished due to injury. It was clear to football fans that Vinicius Jr. had Neymar-like talent, but if he never improved on his finishing, he was never going to be a top player for the club. Now, for the next couple of seasons with Zinedine Zidane as manager, he never really improved on that finishing. Yes, his stats improved slightly in the 1920 season, with him getting 5 goals and 4 assists in 38 games, but his finishing didn't improve that much. I mean, when he scored his first goal of the season against Osasuna, he broke down in tears, showing how much that goal meant to him and how it was an emotional moment.
Vinny,
and this might be a little cruel, but an elite winger who scores goals on the regular wouldn't tear up about scoring his first goal of the season. Scoring goals should just be a pretty regular occurrence for elite wingers, which for Vinicius, it wasn't. Then in the following 2021 season, in Zidane's last season as coach, Vinicius still failed to be a consistent starter and only managed to get 6 goals and 7 assists in 49 games. And then the lowest and probably the most embarrassing point of Vinicius' career happened in the Champions League clash against Borussia Mönchengladbach, when Madrid were down 2-0. After coming out from the locker room at halftime, Karim Benzema was spotted speaking to teammate Ferland Mendy, saying, "Don't pass the ball to Vinicius. On my mother's life, he's playing against us." Despite this being embarrassing,
on my mother's life, he's playing against us. On my mother's life, Benzema, you can't do my boy Vinny. On my mama's life. What are we doing, Benzema? That's your teammate.
Embarrassing for Vinicius, the fans didn't really back him up. In fact, they agreed with Benzema, since it was extremely evident that Vinicius had almost zero end product and composure, and Real Madrid fans were clearly getting frustrated with that. Fans around the world always compared Vinicius to Neymar due to both having extreme talent in dribbling and having flair. However, one thing that everyone agreed with at the time was Vinicius could never be on Neymar's level, because unlike him, Vinny couldn't score goals. And although Vinicius still had iconic moments in the 2021 season, like scoring 2 goals against my beloved Liverpool to knock them out in the quarterfinals, overall, Vinicius still had a pretty stinky season. However, in the 21-22 campaign, everything changed for Vinicius Jr. and in a positive way. But real fast, before we talk about that, please remember to subscribe to my channel.
Hey, go check him out. Incredible video. Go check him out. Awesome channel. Check him out.
Appreciate it, and
Big
it means
video.
a lot. So thank you. Anyways, back to topic. Zinedine Zidane was no longer going to be the coach of Real Madrid, and instead it was Carlo Ancelotti, who was an ex-Real Madrid coach who had already won it all with the club. In the first game of the season against Alaves for the 21-22 season, Ancelotti decided to start his more
I like that jersey, by the way. I just want to let y'all know that Real Madrid jersey was clean.
Experienced players and players he already knew, like Modric, Casemiro, Gareth Bale, Eden Hazard, etc. Vinicius was sadly stuck to the bench. However, when he came into the game, he scored a calm and composed finish against the Alaves side to comfortably beat them 4-1. A few eyebrows were raised from Real Madrid fans because Vinicius never had this composure in his locker before. However, maybe this was a once-in-a-blue moon thing for Vinicius. He couldn't repeat this, right? Wrong, because in the very next game against Levante, Vinicius came off the bench and scored a break race with some incredible finishes for the goal, and this helped secure a 3-3 draw. More importantly, this convinced Ancelotti to start Vinicius instead of Hazard, and Vinny has not looked back since. It was clear that Vinicius was putting in the work during preseason and summer break to improve his finishing, and now Vinny is reaping the benefits of his hard work. Vinicius also had iconic moments in this season as well. He scored his first hat-trick for Real Madrid in a 6-0 win over Levante towards the end of the season. He also
Levante always getting dogged. What's going on here?
Real Madrid win La Liga. He outperformed his expected goals that season by 3.9 goals, with him getting 17 instead of the 13.1 that was expected of him. And overall in that season, Vinicius Jr. ended up getting 22 goals and 20 assists in 50.
Listen, what do we see? I'll tell you what I see right away. He went from number 28 to number 20. Why'd they have this man playing with number 28 on his back? That looks stupid on a winger. 20 looks better. He just wanted a different jersey, bro. I could have solved that problem season 1, bro. You should have put me in charge of Ancelotti. You don't need Ancelotti or Zidane. You could have had me, bro. That you brought this man running around with number 28 on his back. What are you doing, bro? 28's not a winger number, bro. No one rocks 28, bro. Let that boy Vinny get his number.
2 games, an amazing improvement from his previous season.
Go on, Vinny.
In fact,
Vinny
got more goals in the 21-22 season than the rest of his seasons at Real Madrid.
Great finish.
More importantly, though, Vinicius Jr. got one of the most important goals in Real Madrid history, with the Spanish club defeating my beloved Liverpool again in the Champions League final 1-0, with Vinicius scoring the ultimate goal. This helped Real Madrid win their 14th Champions League title and also helped edge Vinicius into Real Madrid history forever. Vinicius performed so well that Karim Benzema retracted his statement from the previous season, saying that what he said gave Vinicius motivation to improve his game, and now he's not the same player as.
On my mama, Benzema looks stupid. I gotta say, Benz, I love you, brother, but on my mama, you look stupid. He kind of proved you wrong. Look at him saying, yo, what's up, G? You make fun of me? Now look at me. I'm a beast.
He once was before. Vinicius took what Benzema said about him and used it as motivation instead of being butthurt about it. You gotta respect that. It also doesn't seem like the 21-22 season was a purple patch for Vinicius Jr. because he's having a similar output this season as well. At the time of me recording this, he already has 21 goals and 17 assists in 46 games, putting up similar numbers just like I said. He's helping Real Madrid try and go back-to-back in the Champions League, with him getting goals and assists in almost every single Champions League game.
Let's not talk about that, all right? Because obviously when he was making this video, he didn't know that they were about to get dogged by their city.
So far. And he also scored 2 goals against my club Liverpool in the round of 16. Bro, Vinicius, chill out, bro. Leave my club alone. That's not it though, because Vinicius' assist in the UEFA Super Cup helped Real Madrid beat Frankfurt 2-0. He also played a part in Real Madrid winning the Club World Cup, with Vinicius scoring a brace in a 5-3 win over Al Hilal in the final, which helped them win the tournament's Best Player award. Vinicius has reached a level where instead of people criticizing him for not scoring goals, they're now starting to criticize him for dancing in the celebrations. That's how you know you're becoming a menace on the pitch. Vinny received a ton of racist abuse for his dancing as well, especially from Atletico Madrid fans, but that won't stop him from dancing on.
Listen, that happened against Valencia when I'm recording this, where we just dropped a video on that. It's happening again, where this guy made this video back in, it's crazy, man. This guy made this video 3 weeks ago. And once again, we're talking about the same situation.
Vinny got that Brazilian swagger in him, bro. Obviously, he's going to keep on dancing, and rightly so. Oh, and speaking about Brazil, though, his performances for Real Madrid got him called up in the 26-man roster for the World Cup in Qatar. And he had a pretty impressive tournament, despite Brazil disappointing as favorites. He got an assist in a crucial 2-0 win over Serbia in the group stages, and also scored a goal and got an assist against South Korea in the round of 16. Croatia then knocked Brazil out in the quarterfinals, but Vinicius had little to do with that. Overall, it was clear since day one that Vinicius Jr. had all the talent in the world to be one of the world's best. All that was needed was for him to improve his finishing, which he did at his most recent years at Real Madrid. He didn't stop believing in himself and continued to put in those extra hours of work, and through perseverance, he's truly become a superstar. People talk about Kylian Mbappe this, Erling Haaland that, but I believe Vinicius should be in those conversations as well, because in my eyes, he definitely has the talent to win the Ballon d'Or in the future. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, please remember.
First of all, I just want to say that is an incredible video, and I agree with everything this man said. Vinicius Jr. should be in the same conversation as Haaland and Mbappe. And I want to give a big shout out to that video because he put in a lot of work for that one. That is huge. Again, I'll leave that in the description. Let me give my thoughts real quick, man. First of all, I think Vinicius Jr. is an incredible player. I think Vinicius Jr. is not only an incredible player, I think Vinicius Jr. Really wants to be a top player. I think the one thing that Vinny has that Neymar kind of lost somewhere in his career was the hunger to keep going. And I hope Vinny doesn't lose that, because I feel like Neymar lost that when he went to PSG. If Neymar would have stayed at Barcelona, I think we'd be talking about as the greatest Brazilian of all time. And now Vinicius Jr. has that at his doorstep if he can just keep doing what he's doing. But then there brings a lot of questions, lads, that we got to talk about too. Will Vinicius Jr. stay at Real Madrid? With everything that's happening in La Liga, will he want to leave Real Madrid because of the way La Liga's treating him? Not Real Madrid. Real Madrid obviously treats this guy amazing. But when you have La Liga's president kind of coming out and bashing you after you were abused on the field, it's kind of a tough situation. Would you want to work for that company anymore? You know, if this was happening to you. So I hope he doesn't leave Real Madrid, but I could see a world where he asks to leave because of what he's going through. And then I also think that if he leaves Madrid, it's a step backwards for him because, you know, Real Madrid is a place where you can go win Champions Leagues and win a lot of Ballon d'Ors because Real Madrid's always in the conversation for the Champions League. So it's a very interesting conversation. But when you mention Vinny's name, mention Mbappe and mention the homie Haaland because they're amazing. And y'all are amazing. Thank y'all for watching. Again, the video I just watched in the description down below. I appreciate y'all. Vinny, you keep doing what you're doing, and we're going to keep doing what we're doing. We'll catch you next time. Peace. Thanks for watching.